I wasn't expecting the difference between reMarkable Paper Pro and the Boox Note Air4C to be so clear for drawing. Yeah, it's not acceptable. So let's talk creativity now. And Vlad asked, is it going to be mostly about drawing? Well, no, I mean, there's all different parts of creativity. Drawing will be one of those, and for me, as a creative person, drawing is very important for me, but part of that is using it for me creatively, is using it to manage making videos and things. That's my main creative outlet at this point. I do think, right, okay, the colors, let's talk about that. I mean, my screensaver was in fact a color drawing that I did all that time ago. I mean, the colors just look so much more vibrant on the Gallery 3 screen. You just couldn't do this. You couldn't draw this guy in any kind of color that would do justice to him as a colorist. That's Vincent van Gogh, if you're not sure, as you could on here. Now, when they launched this, they talked about this screen, they called it with pastel colors, they said. People have sort of called this a true color display. I don't think it is perfectly true color, but it is certainly closer. And it's like color is printed in real printing inks, which is great. It's very, very welcome. And I did very much enjoy drawing. This is epic. This is amazing. The experience of drawing with color, reading things in color, being creative in color, yeah, it's fabulous. When you change pages, there is this moment, you have to get used to that. Some people are just not going to love that. You're going to find that jarring. You're not going to enjoy that. It is the case that when you do a color mark on the page, and I just wish it had, like on a Supernote, where you could just flick back to the last thing instead of having to go right the way back through the file system to get back. So when you're drawing with the pen, for instance, what a wonderful pen tool. I mean, the actual marker, the brushes that they've gone for are just stupendously nice, but then they're let down by the fact that it does need to flash to redo that. But just look at the textures you're getting. You know, they're really, really good. And the thickness being controlled by the tilt in more now than just the pencil. And the different pencils are lovely as well. Being able to shade and get a full range of tones and the thicknesses is great. I do hope they can give us some colors that don't need to always, they call them quick colors or something like that, would be a good thing to do, I think. That would be really, really good. And I really have enjoyed drawing on it, I really must admit. I also lent my second one to my mother, who is my art teacher as well. She was my art teacher at school. So you can thank her for me being able to draw at least some semblance of being able to draw at least. And so I said, here you go and play with it, and just leave your files for us to enjoy on our live streams. And she kind of got steadily better as she got kind of used to it as a different medium. You know, first all just putting little bits of colour on. It's quite nice though, isn't it? You know, there's David Arnold. Looking at his phone for a change. There's the reds in my daughter's hair. Kids just being still for once, looking at the TV. Television watchers, and you know, spending a bit more time with it. And the pen tools are really, really good. Absolutely, Ed. I'd love to see Brad. I'm sure he will review it at some point. He'll just be getting around to it, reviewing all the other amazing drawing things that are out there. But this was, I think this is the one she's cracked it, and this is the one where she's used black and white. So I don't know if she just gave up with color at one point and just thought I'd just do a black and white sketch. But you can see the different pen tools used to really good effect here. I think she's done a really great job there. Really, absolutely fabulous drawing, Mum. Great job. Thank you for sharing that with us. You can just imagine going into the woods there, can't you? Yeah, a bit of colour on there as well. So how she used layers. She hasn't really played about with layers too much on there. I think there was another one that she did that we really quite liked. Yeah, this was using the colours to really nice effect to capture the beach. So she obviously thought the sort of colours as individual lines was a nice effect. And this is the interesting thing, it's a different medium, so you draw it in a different way. Yeah, but this is only one part of creativity, but it felt like as a place to work on your ideas, to sketch out your ideas, to do little diagrams, to scribble things. I could imagine myself totally like secluded, typing away on it, for instance, and I would draw on it and write on it and just really enjoy being that creative person. What I was doing the other day, I was thinking about my content strategy and I was just scribbling down ideas as I went, right? But I had this and I had this and I also had the Google Pixel tablet and I was looking at OneNote on the Google Pixel tablet and I had the GPT 4.0 in playing within natural voice mode on my phone. And so I was working through some ideas, discussing, seeing what it suggested and looking at the previous notes that I'd made on OneNote on the Google Pixel. And I was writing down any kind of ideas. I was putting ideas down, how my week might look, different content schedules, different ideas and things like that. And I was working, just jotting down notes on here and it was really, really good. It was really, really nice. Now I could do all this on the Boox too, and I'd be really happy doing that on the Boox. And I think that a larger color tab device, maybe this size or maybe a 13.3 size, a larger color Boox tab device would be amazing with a keyboard case and to allow you to like do split screen and to work between all those apps on one place. That would be the thing for me. I think that then I would give a creative badge to Boox. But I think that for pure creativity and for the pure kind of like idea of what creativity is, you know, creativity for me, you're bringing something out of nothing. You're starting from a blank page and you're putting your ideas down. I think what's the space that you want? You want a blank sheet of paper to bring an idea into being, then I think that reMarkable is the place to do that. And I think for creativity, reMarkable just wins that. There's not to say that in the future, a Boox device couldn't actually take this. I think that combination of this lovely pen feel, really nice, attractive place to sketch, really nice, attractive place to work up your ideas, just like the sketchbooks that I love carrying around and did as a kid, then I think that, yeah, I can see myself using this as that sort of unleashed, unbounded, not likely to be taken into any kind of set workflow, not likely to be distracted by other things that I can do with the device, like reading or checking web sources or doing other things like this. Not likely to be distracted by reading, yeah, gosh, on a e-ink tablet, could you imagine reading? I think that as a space for sort of purists in the creative sense, I think that it's very, very good. I think it just pips that category over something that I've loved taking around drawing and writing on, like the Note Air4C, which is probably, if you're in the Boox world where you want to be creatively, is something like the Note Air4C, I would suggest. You can really see just how far ahead the reMarkable pen tools are, and the feel of that stylus on the paper is really good. I guess the complaint that some people have is that you're having to like tap and it's a funny sound and feel when you actually put the pen nib down. But when you're drawing, you don't tend to lift that pen so much, you take lines for a walk. Sure, the drawing is not perfect, there is still a way to go for them to improve it, but in terms of e-ink, they are further ahead than anyone. In terms of making it a rival to a dedicated drawing app, their brushes all have texture, great pressure sensitivity and tilt sensitivity through a lot more of them now. You've got the great pencil tool for shading, and you've also got the shader tool for a more watercolor look of color. And then you've also got the paintbrush tool where you can actually get a bolder use of color there as well. So really great options. Personally, I'd just love to see them include a full palette of any color that we want to choose, and also layer blending options actually on the device. It could go really far. It could be a really great place for artists. So I've been looking forward to drawing on this, the Note Air4C, and yeah, giving it a good try out, given that we've got this improved Kaleido-free screen. And as I'm drawing, I think I'll take it out of its case so we get as accurate as possible. This has just made me think of something about these, which I think is quite important actually, these devices that we're testing out now. This new case, the flap doesn't sit behind, which is quite a nuisance. The magnet to the back. Really enjoyed drawing that on the reMarkable Paper Pro, and yeah, I'm going to do the same one on here just to kind of compare. I'll put the actual image up to give you a little comparison of, well, analyze my drawing skills, but also just to sort of see what the color is like. Interesting, will I have a problem with this slipping around a little bit without it having any kind of rubber stoppers or feet? But actually, just before I got into that, I was thinking, well, I'm quite familiar with this because actually I drew this when I was in Paris, I don't know, a good 10 years ago probably, in this notebook, and I flipping love this notebook. I mean, look how cool this is. And I was just thinking about, well, what it's like in notebooks. And when I thought, oh, I'll draw that same thing, I just remembered this exact page in this notebook, and I was able to go, oh, I remember that. It's in that yellow and blue and red notebook, which was fitting actually, because all I had with me on that holiday was just the pencil, a 2B pencil, a yellow, a red, and a blue, and a black pen. And so everything I did on in those three colors. I guess it's not actually the exact same painting, is it? But very similar painting. I was thinking about how we remember things that are in notebooks, and whether, okay, these notebook invitations, will we get the same relationship that we can remember exact kind of places in them? And this was making me think of something that I've been listening to. I've been listening to Patti Smith's Year of the Monkey. It's brilliant. Patti obviously spends a lot of time sat in cafes and writing, and you can see this picture of her just writing in a cafe, drinking black coffee, and that's sort of her lifestyle. Is how she develops her work, that's how she develops her thinking into these really quite epic narratives. I can imagine when she's compiling them that she's got this kind of like set of notebooks in her room, and she's probably got a kind of memory for each notebook of exactly where she was and when she was and what she was thinking about at those times. And so when she compiles them into those sort of autobiographical narratives, she's got this kind of reference, and she's got this kind of memory about those pages and what she was writing and what she was thinking at the time. And I just wonder whether digital note-taking has got that same thing. It does it in some respects, because I know there are still pages that I wrote way back in my reMarkable one that I can picture exactly the page, and I can take you to roughly where that is in the digital notebook. But when I picked out this notebook, this sketchbook that I had there, I could take you, I could probably do a fair stab of taking you through what's on each page in pretty much the order, just because I remember it so keenly. And if you want comparisons between this and the reMarkable Paper Pro, first thing I'm noticing is, well, that certainly the screen real estate is less. It doesn't seem like a lot, 10.3 to 11.8, but it certainly is when you're actually dealing with it. They've both got layers. I wonder if I can put a layer into that quick palette. So now I can actually select my layers within that, and I just want to double check that I've got the Smart Scribe right off. No, I don't want any of that one drawing. So when you're sketching, it will just treat it like an eraser if you leave that on. I don't like that when it's drawing over the top there. Well, that's really not pleasant at all. I wonder if that's going to happen in all the brushes, and I wonder if that's just because I'm on a new layer. I think it is. What I really want when I draw is I want to really enjoy it. I want to really enjoy it, so I want to spend more time on it. I want to wrestle with the issues of drawing. And that is just limiting my enjoyment of it. Shame. I don't remember this from any other Boox tablet that I've drawn on. I've drawn on a fair few. Okay, I'm going to change tool now, simply because I don't want to do any more with that on top of that. Start getting the colour in. No. Gosh, that slows right down, doesn't it? I was going to say, at least it's big enough that I can cover a large area. Oh dear. I want to put this layer below the previous layers. It's not really what I'm used to, is it? Is it better in ultrafast at all? Oh, it has finally moved. It doesn't appear to have done anything to the layer there. Let's come out of this, let it reload. So I've not ever had these issues before with any Boox. It's simply because that brush is too wide. So there's definitely drawing on that layer 3. It's showing all 3 layers at the minute. It's basically given up, hasn't it? Oh, it's now in the correct order. Now I've changed out that. I've got all 3 layers doing. Is it? Oh, I don't want this brush again. And it really didn't like where the menu was, did it? Well, I was really looking forward to drawing on Boox. I hate to say it, but I've got to give in. I will just colour his face and then I'll give in. This is actually kind of painful. Okay, I'm going to reboot the thing, see if that does any better. Yeah, it's just backs me up that they need a proper drawing app, don't they? I mean, it's always been that pencil tool that's been the laggy one, and the one that's made it crash in the past. So perhaps just don't use the pencil tool. But, you know, that's not acceptable, is it? Okay, I'll try a little bit more. Seems to be going now, but... And you've got less issues with that one going over the top of the previous layer. Certainly not enjoyed all that. It's black, and now it's not changed to red. I did wonder if they'd have issues porting to a new version of Android, and that's what I think is going on here. Yeah, it's not acceptable. It's going back gradually to the blue. And the thing is, what happens is that people lose faith with these devices. If this happens a couple of times to you, then you're just going to give in with the device and you're not going to go back. You're going to presume that at some point it's going to make you lose work again. although they're not actually marketing this as a drawing tablet, it is a note tablet, because it's just really being quite laggy, isn't it? They have done a fair amount of stuff actually showing it for drawing, and it can be a nice experience of drawing. I've really enjoyed drawing a lot on it, or on the previous Boox tablets, but they can't expect to use the exact same app, which is powerful for notes, and not make it amazing for drawing. I think they need to, at this point, accept that we need our own drawing app. People who use it for this type of thing have different needs to people who want to use it for keeping their knowledge all in one place. I'm just going to work on one layer. Again, one tone over the other, it's just not going well. And whereas that pencil tool with tilt was always the hallmark of the incredible tool set that you get on the reMarkable, this one seems to be the bane of it, really. The pencil tool with tilt seems to be where all of the lagginess comes from. I don't know why they can't get that right. Go on then, I'll try a new layer, but I'll stick with the paintbrush tool. At least it's working kind of, the speed you'd expect it to work now. After really enjoying the reMarkable Paper Pro, I'm not likely to decide to draw something on this instead, which is a shame because, I've really enjoyed using the Note Air as a sketchbook in the past. I'll come back to that. It is a Note Air, it's not a Air sketchbook or something. But they have done a set of kind of advertisements, or a video rather, as a kind of like drawing on books, which if you're selling it as that, it better work well. In any case, what I really want here, I want blending tools, I want a proper palette of brushes, I want all of the colours to choose from, and I want reliability at an absolute minimum. It's really hard to tell the difference in the lemon and the orange, isn't it? One of the first lessons you do at art school is about the quality of your lines, the quality of the marks you're making. You just can't tell because it's doing this funny thing, sort of pre-rendering nothing like what the final thing looks like. And I've been a very harsh critic of reMarkable for the flashing and their choice. It's not even a critic of reMarkable, it's a comment on the choice they've made to use the Gallery 3 and the things you need to bear in mind if you're going to buy that device. And now, well, I have to say, Boox, their choice is the Kaleido 3, tends to be the one that can do this type of workflow better because it's a speedy, it's a faster refresh, and I can't keep up with it at all. Oh, I can't give in. I haven't been able to get anywhere near the colours that I want to for this drawing. Nowhere near. I haven't been able to get anywhere near the kind of look, the accuracy. I know I've rushed the second one, but that was because I was quite frustrated after that first wasted drawing. But I mean, this is a flawed drawing as well, my reMarkable Paper Pro one, but it's a lot less flawed than the guy here. Sorry, Vincent, I'll let you down, mate. And are they really paper evolved if that one is just that much better?